Good morning. How are you today, Gay? I am trying to get everything pulled up here and make sure that I'm not echoing. So how is everybody today? I am fine. I'm here. I'm awake. I think. Let's see. I don't want to be down there. I need to look at numbers. So Colleen is at 1190 plus, and Sylvia is at 861. Wayne is at 757. I'm just getting this out of the way so that I can go ahead and start our tutorial. My quilt projects is at 957, and Lori at Quilting in the Country is at 232. So everybody's growing. Hello, Colleen, Lori, Sylvia. Oh, look at her. She's putting in everybody's stats real quick. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate it. Making sure I've got computer and phone and all that set up where we want it. You guys, this has been one of those mornings. I got up. The dog decided she had to go out because she was mad that Wayne wouldn't let her out when he left. Hi, Lynn. How are you? So she went out this morning in the dark, and she stayed out there like a minute and a half and then had to come back in because she's afraid of the dark. And then as soon as the sun came up, she was like back at the door going, let me out, let me out. But that's kind of my fault because I feed her as soon as she comes back in the morning from her potty run, and then give her a little bit, then put her back out again. So she likes to go out and come back in just to see if I'll give her more food. She's rotten is what she is. Hello, Charlotte. How are you today? Oh, Lynn, it probably won't be very long today anyway, because this block that I'm going to do today, the one that's in the thumbnail, is really quick, even though it looks complicated. I made one yesterday and I was like, oh, that didn't take any time at all. But we're always happy for you to watch replays, obviously, always. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. So I did that one in blue and white, and then I was looking at it and I thought, I want to do it another colorway. So I chose this to go with the white. I still have a little bit of that cough. Let me trying to make sure the only thing over here, thank you, Lynn, is just the stuff for the block. And I want to turn the iron on because, like most things, it comes out better if you iron it as you go and you iron your seams one way or the other. Hello, Deb. How are you today? Sherlock, turn your head. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. So here's my hand. And I hope it's not quite where I want us to be. There we are. Aw. Oh, yeah. Lynn, that's important. You got to go see the grandkids. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay this out. And the first time I saw this, I'm a do-it learner. You know, I don't do real well with somebody giving me just verbal instructions. I do way better if I have hands-on instructions. So there is the beginning of this block. That's how the middle goes. And I'm going to lay this all out here. And this is how this goes together. Now, when you get to the end of it, it's going to look like it's all on point. So I'm going to show you how to do this section here, which is literally just 3 rows. And then we'll concentrate on this part because that's the part that gives me fits. So I'm going to see if I can get you guys where you can see my computer or my sewing machine too. There we go. The cord was caught in my chair. Sorry about that. So this is my way of doing this. I do it in rows instead of, or in columns instead of in rows going across. And I'm just going to do my 1/4 inch seam right down here. And I saw this morning, let me move my phone over here so I can see the chat. Good morning. I saw this morning a short with a baby in it. And I was kind of like taken aback because I'm really cautious about not putting pictures of my grandkids or any minors on my page. And the baby was adorable. Adorable. But I was like, gee, am I being overly concerned? And I couldn't reach a consensus with my normal crew of people that I talk to about that stuff. So I thought I would ask you guys, what are your thoughts about seeing babies like in somebody's feed on their videos and stuff? I'm a little, like I said, I'm wary about putting kids on YouTube at all. But I kind of think, okay, if it's the parents doing it, that's one thing. But I have some really cute pictures of my grandkids that I'd love to share. But I'm weird about doing that because I'm worried about them. So what do you guys think about that? Am I just an old bus budget? Or is that a concern? Deborah, how are you feeling? That's a good question. I know you're home, but are you allowed to put weight on your knee or sew yet? Yeah, that was one of my thoughts, Colleen, was because of the pedophile from before, yeah. Because that is a genuine concern for me. I mean, finding out that there was a person going through chats, and he especially liked to chat up ladies who had kids or grandkids. I kind of worry about that myself. You started walking the same day as surgery? Yay! Yeah, I don't even share them on my Facebook, but yeah. My, especially with my stepdaughters, they share, but most of their Facebooks are locked down pretty tight. So the only people who can really see them are family. And anything that's, like, I got a picture yesterday of one of my granddaughters. There's an ant in here again. She was in a rash guard, which is like a long sleeve t-shirt that they wear these days instead of a bathing suit. And she's little. She's like 2. So it wasn't like you could see any of her body, but she was like at a splash pad kind of thing. Yeah, Charlotte. Okay, so you think the same way I do. I was like, oh, that baby's cute. And then my next thought was, but. I guess if the parents are okay with it, you could too. But I just have been really funky about doing that. I think I included an old picture in a collage video a while back. And then had a conversation with my son who was like, Mom, Hello, Laura Lynn. How are you today? At least I assume it's Laura Lynn. I saw that your infusion went well yesterday. I'm glad to hear that. And that's not a comment at all about like Marcus being on Laura Lynn's videos. He's an adult and he can choose. Yeah, I know. I would have been a little freaked out by that too. Okay, so there's my center part. And then this is how this goes together. And I'm just going to lay it out here so you guys can all see it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a disclaimer here. The directions, the cutting directions, which are in the description box, actually called for one of the squares to be cut smaller. And I did not cut mine smaller. I cut them all at 2¼ inch. We've talked about this before. I'm not overly thrilled with cutting 2 1/8 inch pieces. So I cut it at 2 1/4. And when I square up the block, that will take care of all that. Let me see if I can move that over closer for you guys to see. As you can tell, I still have a little bit of frog. Can you guys see that better there? Now, the way I put these together is I started at the bottom and I put the 2 outside pieces on here. Then I'll put the 2 outside pieces here, and then I'll sew the 3 little areas together. And I'm lining up along the bottoms where the squares meet, because the little triangle pieces can come off. I don't have a problem with that, but I want to make sure that it's square along the bottom if I can. Yeah, that's the only bit I still have left is that little bit of hoarseness when I talk and a little bit of a cough. Compared to what I was afraid I was going to get, I'm actually in great shape. And I feel good. A little bit tired, but I think part of that is from the medicines they gave me. Because when I called my doctor, when I realized that I was getting way sicker than what I had at home could take care of, she dropped a nuclear bomb on this stuff. And I'm not complaining. It's always nice to have LL visiting. I think of her as Laura Lynn, her mom. But I kind of feel bad calling her mom because she's younger than I am. She's just everybody's mommy. That's all. And it stinks when you're sick, Laura Lynn, so we don't want that anymore. So you have to stay better now. I'm trying to keep this over here where you guys can see what I'm doing. Excuse me. Tracy! Oh yeah, showers are the bomb. I'm always telling you guys I'm spatially challenged. I am. I have to actually look at how it's supposed to be laid out in order to get everything put on there. Okay. Little heat makes everything go where? A cuddle puddle? I like that. That's cute. Goes with big squishy hugs, it does. when I did this one yesterday, when I was making the sample block, I did these kind of all chain pieced, but I don't want to chain piece it today because I want you guys to see how this goes together. And then right here, I'm trying to center that square at the top so that it stays where it's supposed to be. This is one of those blocks that looks way more complicated than it is. And the directions that they give you just don't make any sense. So this one I had to actually put together and then figure out how to teach it. Oh, that's awesome, Laura Lynn. I hope when he popped in that Pop was there. We sometimes get visitors, when the other family member isn't here. And I was remembering, I got stuck in Facebook Reels this morning. I like to watch them sometimes. And this morning I was watching them, and I saw a video from a guy who said that his grandparents had a rule that there couldn't be the opposite sex in the house if grandma or grandpa was alone. And I was like, I do remember that rule from way back when. All right, so if you guys can see this, I've got little wings sticking out there on the sides. I'm going to do the long pieces with the wings on two sides, and then the other two I'll do without the wings on them. And then I'll show you how I put that other side on where the wings aren't joined. And there's probably even an easier way to do this than how I did it. But it didn't occur to me until just this second that I could have put like one on at a time. Come up. But that's why we do these things, is so that we can figure out how they work best for us, right? Everybody looks at this stuff differently. I have a Baby Lock Jazz 2 that I'm sewing on. I prefer to sew on my Juki, but my Juki is in the other room, and I don't get good lighting in there for videos. I think somebody said it looked like I was in a dungeon. Is that right, Colleen? And then when I go to square this up, I'll get rid of all these extra little corners there. So I'm going to do one more just like I did that one. Yeah. It's a great little machine. I really like it. Took me a while because I was spoiled for the Juki. But now I'm to the point that I'm like, yep, it's cool. Making sure I don't have that turned over wrong. Yep, it did look like a dungeon. Because the light in there isn't as good as it is in here. And I've got to rework the light in here anyway. Wayne likes to do things like buy tech. He got a camera given to him at work. He comes home and drops the box on my desk and says, try this one out. So I tried it yesterday when we were recording a Zoom. And it's got a great picture. You can see my nose hair in it. I don't know that I really want my camera to pick up quite that much, but it definitely gives you a good picture. Excuse me. I really like this particular block because it comes out so, it looks like you did a whole lot more work than you did. Because it comes out with all those crosses in there. And eventually all these blocks are going to end up in a quilt together. So I'm trying to keep my colors somewhat similar. My machine needs oil this morning, but I'm planning to clean it when I get done with my live today anyhow. Got to clean both of them and oil them. All right, a little heat. The Jazz is a top seller. Yeah. Like I said, it's taken me some time to get to, I don't know, for us to become friends, me and old Jazzy here. The hard part for me is that the threading part on it is different than what I was used to, which I sewed on until I bought the Juki and the Jazz. I had always sewn on just plain like Walmart version of Brother machines. There's nothing wrong with those. But this has a different thread path than those Brother machines did. So I was a little thrown by the way it threads. It's got more of those little, you got to feed it under a plate and over a plate and around a corner. And these go together, these little corners go together pretty quick once you have them figured out. Dinner's on the stove, but you can watch. Okay, what are you having for dinner, Charlotte? Since Wayne's taken his new job, I'm now cooking dinner again. I'm not going to whine about it. I thought about it, but I won't. He's loving his new job so much. And I love it just because when he comes home, you can see that he's just really enjoying it, and the people at his new job treat him with respect and kindness. His old job was not that way. Cooked potatoes and cauliflower and meatballs. That does sound good. I bought potatoes this last grocery trip. Wayne's idea of vegetables is, bread. So I'm feeding him more vegetables now, which is good. He can use them. That was the only thing we ever disagreed on as far as cooking meals, is that I've always been like, yes, I want more veggies. But we solved it. I would buy vegetable trays and I would eat those as my snacks so that he didn't have to come up with some new idea when it came to veggies. Yep, we can all use more veggies. But, real veggies, not corn and peas and green beans. I love green beans and I love potatoes and I love them cooked together. So I have to make myself eat broccoli and carrots and celery and all that other stuff that's good for you. And I'm good about doing greens and spinach. Okay, so, oh, Lynn, if I were close, I would definitely take that from you. All right, you see how this has got these little flippies out here? The next ones are the side pieces that I build. I'm not going to put pieces on either end because they get sewn into right there. And I'll show you how I do that. Yeah, Charlotte, that's a good thing to do as long as your body can handle it. Some people's kidneys and stuff can't do that particular maneuver. My doctor actually told me that I needed to slow down on the veggies. But considering all the things they've told me I'm not supposed to eat, I'd be down to, ice cubes. So I just try to balance it out and be smart about it. Because I have kidney stones and tummy problems and the whole 9 yards. My tummy problems are similar to what Laura Lynn was having. Yeah, we do a lot of fish. We don't do much red meat anymore. That's the one that we're avoiding most. And that's more because of Wayne than because of me. Because he had a stroke a couple of years ago. And for him, the red meat is bad for his cholesterol. So we've gone down. I think the only red meat we really eat anymore is hamburger. And we don't eat much that's really chewy or tough. Also because of Wayne, because he has swallowing issues. Oh no, I've already been checked, Laura Lynn. Remember I had a similar surgery to yours? I stay on top of it, believe me. But as far as Wayne's swallowing issue goes, he has been checked. They've done a test, and it's more of a mental thing than it is a physical thing. And he has one pill that he has to take every night that's like a horse pill. Laura Lynn, you have a great day. I appreciate you coming by. All right, now that I've got my corner piece put together, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sew from a 1/4 inch in from each end. And then when I fold it back, I'll sew that little side piece onto it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this. Fold it over. and then sew right down through there. So it's not really a Y seam. I'll do the same on the other side. Sorry. Now, if anybody knows a better method to do this, let me know. This is what I came up with when I was working on it. And if you're watching this on replay and you have a better method, leave me a comment, please. It did it again with the commercials. It's a pain in the butt. There was another word I was going to use there, but I figured I better edit myself there. YouTube, you can stop anytime with the crap. I know I buried my scissors somewhere. Have a great day, Lynn. Enjoy your visit with the grandbabies. I want to take off and go visit mine. There's 9 of them living in one house. I'm like, come on, let's go. The only bad thing about Wayne's new job, he's tired of driving by the time he gets home on Friday. So he doesn't want to get in the car and go hauling off anywhere. Now, did Refreshing get rid of the commercial? Lori? I know it takes a second, so I figured I better make sure I told you who I asked. I know I've seen some commercials. There was one. I was watching shorts and it popped up a commercial and it was like a 45-minute commercial. Well, that is a pain in the asterisk. Oh, and I saw something today that I want to make. You guys will get a video on that when I do it. I really like vintage kitchen stuff. Not to the point that I'm going to do without my kitchen appliances, but I really like the way it looks. I have some Pyrex bowls in the pink Cinderella pattern. And there's a lady on Facebook called Diane Schiffer who lives that whole vintage vibe kind of thing. Oh. And she was showing this morning some a picture of her mixer. She's got an old time stand mixer. It's probably 1950s or 60s. But she had a bowl or a bowl cover on her bowl made out of fabric. And I went, oh yeah. I've made covers for all of my kitchen appliances more than once. And I was looking at that bowl cover thinking, I need to make one of those. So I hope you guys like that because I'm going to make it before too long. Okay, we're to the finish line, guys. This is the last seam. Well, this and those two little side seam pieces. But if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, that looks complicated, it really isn't. If you're new to this kind of sewing, don't let yourself get rattled. Because all you're going to do here is you're going to take that side, fold it over, and match it up right along this side. And then put your 1/4 inch seam in and everything will match up. You just pull it out flat. It's not really a Y seam. And you don't have to sew all the way down. You just have to sew until it meets up with the other part of that. And then see, it's all together just like you want it. Again, I'll lay it down here for you. You're trying to put this and this together. So all you're doing is pulling it out so that it's lined up, and then you're going to sew it. Hi Nancy, how are you today? Okay, so there's our whole block. And I'm going to apply heat to it real quick. And all I'm really doing is just pressing it down. I'm not pushing it out. You press it down, you give it heat. And if you want, this is when I would starch my block. And then you want to iron until it's dry. And now that I've got it ironed, I'm going to remove my ironing board or my ironing mat. And now I have to figure out where I stuck my rotary cutter. There it is. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then all I'm going to do here, I know this should be a 10.5 inch block when it's all done, but I'm going to go over here to the side. One more year of treatments. Well, I hope it all goes well. And I'm going to square up my edge. And I'm paying more attention to my ruler than I am to my mat because I'm lining up my ruler right along the edge of that. I also need to change my rotary cutter blade today, obviously. And when you square up your block along the edge, it takes care of the fact that I cut my corner or my little squares all the same size. And so there's our block. But I did something wrong. Can you guys tell what I did wrong? I should have put 5 greens in and 4 whites instead of the other way around. Because it's supposed to look like it has 4 crosses. And I did it backwards, so now it looks funky. I don't care. I'll keep it. But the center should be 5 color, 4 light instead of the other way around. It's still a pretty block. I'll just have to make one in the green and white and do it right. Now I'm cleaning up my little bit of thread here. My thread holder went MIA. I'm thinking that maybe I threw it in the garbage. I'm going to move you guys back up here where you can see me. Can you see me okay? Let me back up a little bit. Yeah, exactly, Tracy. I don't care. It looks good. There's the blue and white one, and there's the green and white one. And if I didn't tell you that it was supposed to look the other way, you wouldn't know. So I'm going to call it fine. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I do try to be cheerful whenever I'm on lives, you know. And then I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek for tomorrow, if I can find the piece of paper that I had. I guess I'm just going to show you this. This is on freezer paper. And tomorrow, Colleen, Sylvia, and I all have videos coming out. It's the Creator Catch-Up for August. And we're going to do a sewing bee on the 26th. Is that right? Make sure I got my dates right. Sewing bee on the 26th at 10 a.m. It will be over before Mom and Pop come on. It'll probably last an hour, maybe 2. If you're interested in being part of the sewing bee, please give me or Colleen an email or a message, and we'll see who all we can get in there. I think I can do up to 10 participants. If we get over 10, I'm a little overwhelmed because I usually play hostess. So, and I like to make sure that everybody gets a minute in the spotlight so they can show off their project. But if you're interested in joining us, let us know. And we are going to ask the usual people who join us. I know Dawn at My Quilt Projects probably won't be joining us because she sews it in a non-air conditioned space. And it's too hot for the next couple of months for her to do that. The 26th. Okay. Yeah. And on tomorrow's Creator Catch-Up, I'm doing a very simple and easy freezer paper applique. And it doesn't matter if you don't like leaves. You can use any pattern you like. But I used a leaf because it was easy and simple to cut out. But it wasn't, just circles. It was a little more complicated than that. And I thought it might be time to go over that again since people are starting to think about gifts for the holidays and stuff. Just got notification of a premiere. Oh, for the premiere tomorrow? I didn't think I set it up as a premiere. Maybe I did. That was kind of the other thought, Tracy, is, maple leaf is always popular for Canadians. So, and you guys just had Canada Day on the 1st of July. So I thought it was appropriate for that, even though we're into August already. So, but Canadians seem to always like maple leaf stuff. So it was a win-win. And it's coming up on fall for us here. So even better. And let's see, is there anything else I've missed? Oh, Laura Lynn has a premiere at the top of the hour. Well, that's perfect because I'm just wrapping up and she's getting ready to come on. So you guys can go from here right on over to Laura Lynn's. And is she still working on the Wind Girl with all the hair and stuff? Or is that what she's doing today? Yeah, because she had her infusion on Tuesday, so she moved it to today. So that'll work out really well. All right, I think so anyway. Because then I can listen to her while I do the next thing that I've got to do on my list today, which is upload a video. All right, guys, Winter Girl. Yeah, that's what it's called. Does anybody have any questions about this or about the video tomorrow or about the sew along for next weekend? I can't trust your info. Okay, Colleen. You're usually pretty good. So, if you make a minor mistake here and there, we don't mind. We're not going to beat you up for it. We save that for other people to do. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys all joining me today and hanging out while I messed up this blog. Thank you very much, Deb. I appreciate that. All right, guys. I love you all. If somebody wants to hang out and criticize your work, tell them to go home. And I will see you on... Yeah, there are enough other people running their mouths. I will see you guys on Monday, and there is a video coming out tomorrow for sure, and probably another one this afternoon. And I've always got shorts floating around out there, so there's always something to watch from me. Have a great day, and bye for now, guys.